Spice Math. That's right. You add it up, multiply it, man. Spice Math. Okay. A couple things we're gonna learn today. Spice Math. All right. Take some time, educate yourself. Spice Math. That's right. You won't believe it's just math. Come on.
Hi, I'm Ruth Dottin.
Hi, I'm Aaron Williams.
Hi, I'm Brandon Alexander.
Hi, I'm Kelvin Dottin.
Hello, I'm Lyndon Sincere.
We are your Spice Math tutors.
You won't believe it's just math. Just math.
Hello there, welcome again to Spice Math, and we're still on the number basis. Today we want to look at addition. Before we start, let's look back quickly as to how we actually add numbers in base 10 and what happens when the addition crosses the quantity of 10. For example, if you add two numbers in base 10 and you get 11 or 25, what do you actually do? Okay, so let's look at the examples. Number one, we're adding in base 10, and 7 plus 2 are 9, so we simply write the 9 down. 0 plus 5 are 5, 3 plus 4 are 7, and 2 plus 1 are 3. So in this case, in this example, all the numbers we got when we found the sum were less than 10. So we simply wrote them down in their respective places. What happens when we add two numbers and the quantity is greater than 10? Let's see. In the second example, 5 plus 7 are 12? No, that's not how we do it. 5 plus 7 gives us a number that's greater than 10. So when that happens, we need to break up that number into groups of tens. So the number 12, if we divide in it or if we share in it up into groups of tens, we're actually going to do division. So 10 into 12 goes 1, and there's a remainder of 2. Now you might say this is pretty simple because you might have learned it in primary school or maybe way before that. But when it comes to the other bases, when we have to do addition, you're going to see how important it is to actually do the division process whenever you add up two numbers and you get a quantity that is greater than the base you're working in. Okay? So the remainder is placed in the units column, that's it 2, and the 1 is carried to the next column and added. 1 plus 8 9 plus 1 is 10. Do we write the 10 down? No. The 10 is placed here and we divide by 10 again. 10 into 10, 1, remainder 0. Now I'm going through this process to help us appreciate what we're going to do next when we have to add numbers in base 8. The 0 is carried to the column where we added, and the 1 or the quotient is now carried over to the other column and added there. So 1 plus 2 are 3 plus 6 are 9. So we now have 902 in base 10. Now let's look at what happens when we are working with addition in a different base. And for the last couple lessons, we've been concentrating on base 8 so that we can set the principle for adding and converting numbers from base 10 to base 8 and so on. Okay, so we're back to base 8 and we want to look at the two examples on the board and see what would happen when we start the addition process. Remember in base 10, when we added two numbers and the quantity was less than 10, no problem. We simply inserted it in the correct place. However, if we added two numbers and the quantity or the sum was greater than 10, then we had to go through a process of decomposing the number into the actual groups of 10. The same strategy will be applied here, but now it will be done using groups of 8. Let's see. Example number 1, 342 base 8 added to 132 base 8. Let's add. 2 plus 2 are 4. It's less than 8, so we simply insert it into the respective place. 4 plus 3 are 7, and 3 plus 1, 4. So what 342 base 8 plus 132 base 8 would give us 474 base 8. Let's look at the second example. Let's add. 5 plus 2 are 7. So we can simply insert the 7 because it's less than 8. Next one. 3 plus 7 are 10. So we couldn't possibly write it down in that place here. We need to take the 10 to the side and break it up into groups of 8. We can do that through division. 8 into 10 goes 1. And there's a remainder of 2. Simply because we're working in base 8, this actually says there's one group of 8 and 2 single units to make up the 10. The remainder is carried to the column where the addition took place, and the quotient is now carried to the next column and added in. 1 plus 4, 5, plus 6, 11. Again, 11 is greater than 8. So, we need to put the 11 down and divide it up into groups of 8. How many times does 8 go into 11? Well, as you can see, 8 into 11 goes once. In other words, we could make one group of 8 with 11, and there would be a remainder of 3. That remainder is carried to the column where the addition was taking place. And because there are no more columns to add, the quotient is now carried over to the left side of the number. So 635 base 8 added to 472 base 8 is equal to 1327 base 8. Now let's see if you can try some on your own. Okay? So remember what the process is. If we're working in base 8 and you add 2 numbers and they're less than 8, you simply write it in. However, if you add 2 numbers and the sum is greater than 8, then you have to go over to the side and break it up into groups of 8, keeping track of the remainders. Very well. So now you should have completed the addition of the two problems, one in base 8, one in base 5. So let's see how you can work it through using the principles we learned when you break up numbers into groups depending on the base you're working in. So let's look at number 1. We're in base 8 and we add in 7204 base 8 to 1325 base 8. Remember the principle. If you add and the sum is less than the base, you simply insert the digit. If the sum, when you add, is greater than the base, then we have to do a little bit of division, keeping track of the remainders. So, 4 plus 5 in base 8 gives us 9. 9 is greater than 8, so we need to bring it out on the side and divide it by 8. By now, some of you might have caught on that 9 in base 8 is the same as 1 remainder 1, or 1, 1. One group of 8 and 1 unit remaining. The remainder is carried in under the column that the addition started. The quotient, the 1, is now added into the next column. 1 plus 2 plus 0 gives us 3. That is less than 8, so we can simply insert it. 2 plus 3, 5. That's also less than 8, so we can simply insert it. The last one, 7 plus 1 is equal to 8. That has to be broken down into groups of 8. 8 into 8 goes 1, remainder 0. The remainder is now carried to the column where the addition started, and the quotient is now carried to one step or one column further to the left. There we have the answer. 7204 base 8 plus 1325 base 8 gives 10531 base 8. And we have to resist the temptation of calling them hundreds and thousands because we're not in base 10. We are in base 8. Next example, 344 base 5 plus 421 base 5. So we need to make a mental shift now because we have to be thinking in groups of 5. The base has changed from base 8 to base 5. So let's add. 4 plus 1 is 5. We're in base 5, so we need to divide that by 5. 5 into 5, 1, remainder 0. The 0 is carried, the remainder is always carried to the column where the addition started. The quotient is now carried and added into the next column. So 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 4, 7. That is bigger than 5, so we have to take the 7 and divide it into groups of 5s. How many groups of 5 are we going to get from 7? We're going to get one group of 5 and a remainder of 2. So the number 7 in base 5 is really 1, 2, which means one group of 5 and 2 units. The remainder is carried to the column where the addition started. So that's it, 2 here. We carry it to this column here. And the 1 is now added to the next column on the left. So 1 plus 4, 5 plus 3, 8. 8 is bigger than 5. So we have to divide 8 by 5. And we're going to get 1, remainder 3. So we carry the remainder into the column where the addition started, and the extra 1 or the quotient is now carried to the next column. So there we are. 344 base 5 added to 421 base 5 is equal to 1320 base 5. By now, you should have developed a very strong proficiency for adding in different bases. So, let's see if you can attempt a few on your own. Okay, so now that you've had your time to practice, we're going to do part A and part D quickly. And you can check your work as we go along to ensure that you're on the right track. Number 1, let's add. 6 plus 5 are 11. So let's put it down. 3105 base 8 plus 276 base 8. 5 plus 6, 11 base 8. So we divide 11 by 8. We get 1, remainder 3. So the 3 comes here. The 1 is carried, the 1 and 7 are 8. 8 into 8 is 1, remainder 0. So the 0 comes here. The 1 is carried. 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 1 is 4. It's less than 8, so we can write it down. And 3 plus 0 is 3. So 3105 base 8 is equivalent, plus 276 base 8 is equivalent to 3403 base 8. Let's look at the other one. This one is a bit different because it's in base 7, but the principles remain the same. 635 plus 3142 plus 404. And we're adding all of these in base 7. So let's add. We add as normal. 5 plus 2 are 7. 7 plus 4 is 11. So we now have to divide the 11 by the base we're working in, that's 7. 7 into 11 goes one group of 7 and a remainder of 4. The remainder is written down. The 1 is carried to the next column. 1 plus 4 is 5 plus 3 is 8. 8 has to be divided by 7. That's 1. Remainder 1. The 1 is written down. The quotient is now carried. 1 and 4, 5. And 1 is 6. And 6 are 12. So 12 has to be divided by 7. 7 into 12 is one group of 7. And a remainder of 5. The remainder is carried into the column where the addition took place. So 5 comes here. And the 1 is carried to the next column. 1 plus 3, 4. So now we have 635 base 7 plus 3142 base 7 plus 404 base 7 gives 4514 base 7. Answer. This marks the end of today's lesson for number bases. In another lesson, we're going to look at subtraction. But let me exhort you, students, and all those of you who are practicing at home, to take this seriously. Mathematics lays the foundation for almost all the areas in our careers we can think about. So, add up your bases, practice the principles of adding in different bases, and get ready for the next lesson when we'll be looking at subtraction in number bases. Enjoy the rest of your time. Bye-bye.
You won't believe it's just